Hello, I'm Alice. Today I will give you the presentation of the negotiation, and I divide the presentation into the different points, such as the definition of the negotiation and how negotiation play a key role in business contact, and the four purposes for the negotiation, the principle of the negotiation with foresight, and the culture factor in negotiation, and the last one is a gender in negotiation. Well, negotiation definition it's easily, but because it is the process of discussing in order to reach the mutual agreement between parties which satisfy the interests of each party. It is a complex process that required a series of discussion and demonstration each party's point of view and perception toward the common issue. Hence, a negotiation could be considered as success if party reached the agreement for the outcomes, although one party might not fully satisfy, due to the mix of the competitiveness and the cooperation within the process. And the second one I would like to talking about is how the negotiation play a key role in the business contact. In business environment, negotiation plays a crucial role for the success and the operation of organization. In fact, one could find negotiation in any aspect of organization, as issue could occur frequently, and solution must be implemented instantly. For instance, rescuing new personnel must require the negotiation round for salary and a benefit package, or a merge and acquisition deal should require the long negotiation process, which could take months or years to complete. The fundamental point of success business negotiation is a guarantee that both parties could be satisfied and that there will be no risk for further problems and conflicts. For example, an adequate negotiation for a cross-border merge and execution deal could ensure that the post-merging provide ways occur smoothly. And the approach for the negotiation, I divided it into 4 points. The first one is the warm approach, and the second one is a tough, the third one is a logical approach, and the last one is the dealer approach. Warm approach is the most common negotiation, as it is the most friendly and constructive approach that cultivates the relationship between parties. In general, warm approach is often utilized when negotiators from both parties already have opposite report from each party. Organizations that are presented by party already have the history of cooperation and successful negotiation. For example, the negotiation for international purchasing between long-term vendor parties such as Apple and Foxconn should be at the approach, especially for Foxconn side. Both parties have history of success, cooperation, and negotiation, and it is difficult to find alternative vendor or customer. However, warm approach might be considered as weak, as a negotiator might find it difficult to reject the demand for another party. In order to preserve the positive relationship between the organization, for instance, if Foxconn reflect demand from Apple to wrap up production or reduce production costs, Apple might seek for other vendor that satisfy their conditions. And the third one is the second one is a tough approach. Tough approach is contrary with the warm approach, as one party or both parties emphasize their position in assertive manner. Negotiator might accept this quickly side in controlling the negotiation process in order to gain the best interest and the most possible outcomes for the organization, while pay little attention or concern for the opposite party. For example, Banco Popular was at the brink of insolvent, which demand and under pressure of European Central Bank. Hence, it must accept the offer from Banco Santander for the fire sale due to the nominal price of euro. And the third one is the logical approach. Negotiator embrace local approach when fact and the figure are heavily emphasized in order to guide the negotiation process through. A systematic producer that mitigate risk. Subsequently, negotiation process tend to take longer because it takes more time for each party to understand each point of view and present data. In some cases, risks are often overly emphasized that make organizations miss the opportunity. For example, Yahoo worked out for the negotiation for the purchase of Google at $5 billion in 2002. As the CEO at that time considered Google was too expensive and the deal was risky. Eventually, Yahoo missed its opportunity to acquire Google technologies to become the leading online search provider in the later years. And the last one is a dealer approach. Dealer approach is quite similar to the warm approach, as it focuses on maintaining a positive atmosphere in negotiation process with creativity, flexibility, social charming, and persuasive from negotiator. Negotiator aim to achieve a win-win agreement both sides, and they will consider every possible option that could work for the deal. In fact, the approach is widely utilized in international business as both parties are eager to seek for cooperation and also potential to conduct further negotiation. For example, Boeing extended sale discount deal for small order quantity for airline during the pandemic period in order to boost sales. And principle of negotiation, there are the 4C, and the first one is the civility. This is the most important pillar because it promoted to the mutual respect for the value and the concern for each party, hence the acceptance of other point of view is root of civility. And the second C is the competition. Competition is a required factor for a normal negotiation as each party must protect their interests even in the case of win-win situation. The third is compromise. Compromise helps negotiators to be less aggressive from competition, which sometimes prevent the progress. Compromise allows each party to volunteer some extent of initial expectation in exchange to achieve the mutual agreement in order to achieve win-win situation. Compromise is mandatory. And the last thing, I think it's compassion. Compassion provides an alternative for engagement rather than relying on competition. Furthermore, compassion promotes negotiators to emphasize the concern and a point of view for the opposite, even if they foreign or repellent. And I think culture factor in negotiation is very important because social background and negotiation culture could influence the individual behavior and the characteristics of negotiators. According to the culture dimension of Hofstede, national culture would affect negotiation in the following dimension. Power distance. In some countries, the level of power are distinct, understood internally but may not be apparent in outside. For example, negotiators for high power distance culture aim to directly deal with the decision maker or person who have equal positions such as director to director. Furthermore, options from the most senior member of organizations such as director or CEO in high power distance culture tend to influence the progress or negotiation. Individualism and the collectivism. People in the culture may think of themselves in terms of the individual or a member of the concept group or collective. In general, Asian nations tend to have collectivistic social, while Western nationalizing tend to the individualistic social, and the level of the individualistic and the collectivistic affect the decision-making process. For example, individual negotiation in one-on-one manner might not be approved in Japan or China, but it would be possible in the European or Western country. And because decisions tend to make for collective agreement. And for example, aggressiveness and competition are often considered mild characteristics, while focused on relationship and cooperation are traditionally female characteristics. Negotiators from masculine culture tend to take agreement approach, while their counterpart from feminine culture prefer more diplomatic approach in order to preserve relationship. Uncertainly voiced refer to the extent to which some of the comfortable with unstructured or uncertain situation, and some cultures are uncomfortable with ambiguity in negotiation. Business people would seek rule and a relationship and the regulation to guide them. Other cultures are allowing the uncertainty avoidance and a more relaxed about negotiation. And last one I'd like to talk in about is a gender in negotiation. Gender is also an important factor in negotiation, and there are many stereotype among the difference between impact and male and female in negotiation management. For instance, male negotiators are believed to be more rational and logical, while female negotiators are believed to be more emotional and intuitive. However, the difference between male and female also depend on the context of the negotiation, education, and training, and especially profession experience. Therefore, gender different its negotiation are more consistent. Well, that's all I would like to present to you. Thank you.